What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bullshot Darts. I am going to start this video by saying that the first half of this video is going to be the most important message that I have ever given on this channel and will be one of the most important messages that you've heard regarding darts. And I promise that it will change your perception of your darts in the most positive way. So make sure you guys stick around for that first half, and on the second half is when we'll go over some tips and advice. But first, guys, if you are new to Bullshot Darts, please make sure you hit that subscribe button before you go. Drop the video a thumbs up and also share it if you found it useful so you can help some of your darts friends. Those are some free ways that you can help support the channel, and I greatly appreciate the support, guys. So here we go. The one thing that you need to understand is that the only difference between you and Luke Littler is consistency. Now, yes, you might say, well, he has the natural talent, he has a lot more skill and talent than me, and I'm not saying that those things aren't true, but at the end of the day, it all boils down to consistency. You, the person watching this video right now, you are capable of standing at the dart line and hitting the target that you're aiming for, just like Luke Littler and all the other top guys. The only difference is that they, or Luke, they just hit their target a lot more. You are capable of hitting 100s. You are capable of hitting 140s. You are capable of hitting 180s. And believe it or not, you are capable of hitting 9-darters. Now, you might hear that and say, no, I can't do those things. But there's a big difference between actually doing it and being capable. Let's compare this to some other sports, for example. Just a couple that comes to mind is, let's look at basketball. You probably aren't capable of slam dunking the ball. You probably aren't capable of blocking the jump shot of a 7-foot guy shooting the basketball. Those are things that we're probably not capable of. Or a NFL wide receiver. The capability of juking out 3 different defenders, jumping in the air, catching the ball with one hand while all these people are trying to hit you. That we're probably not capable of. But darts, all we do is stand at the line and throw the darts at the board. Now, I don't want to diminish the skill and talent it does take to throw darts by saying that it's just standing at the line and throwing the dart. But what we're talking about here is that you are capable of doing that. So stop telling yourself that you can't hit those 180s. Stop telling yourself that you can't hit those 9-darters. Just view it that you are capable of doing these things. It's just a matter of putting in the work and getting better to achieve it. So now going back to what I was saying earlier, that is what I mean by consistency is the only difference between you and Luke Littler. So for the second half of this video, I'm going to go over some tips that will help you with your consistency. And one of the greatest things about darts, if not the greatest thing about darts, is that you can practice from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to go anywhere to throw darts. Everyone can have a dartboard up in their home and practice at home. So I always say is that you need to practice to get better. I know we talk about it so much on here, but at the end of the day, that's what it all boils down to is your practice. So let's get into the second half of this video now where we're going to talk about some tips here. And the first thing we're going to talk about is that you are a product of what you practice. If you practice a lot more 501 as opposed to cricket, you're going to be better at 501. If you practice your scoring, you're going to be better at scoring. If you practice your doubles more, you're going to be better at your doubles. So you are a product of what you practice, and consistency, it's going to be no different. You need to practice your consistency in your normal practice. And now you might be thinking, well, how do I practice my consistency? Because if I want to work on my scoring, I throw it to triples, or if I want to work on my doubles, I throw it to doubles. How do I practice my consistency? So the first thing that you need to work on is doing the same things over and over and over in your practice. And what I mean by that is you need to have the same form on all of your throws and really get that muscle memory down. And this all starts when you approach the line with your foot position. All Akis have numbers on them and lines to help you find the right spot. Once you find that right spot, that is where you need to set up every single time because that's what's going to help you with your consistency. It's funny because I have my dartboard in my living room where the floors are carpeted, and there is literally a giant footprint on the carpet of where I stand every single time when I throw the dart. So that's where it all starts. And then from there, just think about everything else that goes into your darts throw. Your lean, your stance, your grip, your head position, everything about your throw needs to be the same and repeatable every single time when you throw. If you're switching these things up too much, that's going to mess with your consistency because now you have all these different factors going into your darts throw. So you really need to focus on having the same throw every single time that you approach the line. The next thing we're going to talk about here is pacing. You need to go at the pace that is comfortable for you. A lot of times the pacing changes once our nerves get going, or if we're playing a slower darts player, it might slow us down, or sometimes we play a fast darts player and it just makes you throw faster. Whatever the case might be, you need to work on your pacing and keep going at your own pace. Now, you cannot let these other factors dictate your pace because now that's going to mess up your normal throw, what you've been practicing, and that's going to mess up your consistency. So really focus on your pacing, doing things at the same pace with your throw, your setup, your walking back, all of those things. And one thing that you can do to help with your pacing and practice is add a little bit of a break between your throws. Because when you're out throwing darts against other people, you can't just walk right back to the dart line and keep throwing like you can when you're at home practicing. So if you're constantly doing that at home with your practice, when you go out and have that break in between throws, that could start messing you up and messing up your consistency. Now, does this mean that you will get less darts, per minute, if you want to call it that, in your practice? Yes, because you will be taking that extra time, but I really think it'll help benefit you because it's going to help give you that consistent pacing. The next thing we're going to talk about here is having a consistent mindset. You always need to have that positive mindset. And I have so many different videos on how to have a positive mindset. I'll link a couple of them in the top comment down below. At the end of the day, we're talking about consistency here, so I don't want to go over, how to have a positive mindset. So make sure you go check out those videos. But basically what I'm saying is that you need to focus on having a consistent positive mindset. When you're throwing darts at the board and you have some misses, you can't let that get you down. That is a lot easier said than done, and I understand that. It's something that we all struggle with. But if you can focus on having that consistent positive mindset, then you will bring that positive mindset to every throw and it'll raise your chances of hitting your target. Just always remember that you are capable of hitting these targets, just kind of like how we said earlier. So make sure that you're working on a consistent mindset. The last thing we're going to talk about here is stamina. A lot of times when we're out at tournaments, we're throwing darts for a lot longer than we do when we're at home, and it can start wearing out our body. Yeah, standing at the dartboard and throwing darts isn't the most physically demanding sport that there is, but it does take a toll on your body. And if you're not prepared for that, your stamina is not going to be that good, and it's going to mess with your consistency. So what you can help with your stamina is, the number one thing that I recommend is diet and exercise. I'm not going to get too much into it, but food is fuel for your body. So if you're putting in good fuel, it's going to make you perform your best. And as far as exercise go, just exercise is overall good for your body. It's going to help with your overall stamina, which will help with your darts. Now for specifically dart stamina, if you want to run a marathon, you have to run a lot. If you want to lift, 315 pounds, you need to work your way up to that. Darts is the same thing. If you really want to improve your dart stamina, you're going to have to stand at the line and put in more work. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, if you're new, please make sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Drop the video a thumbs up. I got a link tree linked down below with all the Bullshot Darts links on there. Also, a link to my personal dart stuff. So if you guys want to keep up how I'm doing in my own little darts journey, make sure you go check that out. All right, guys, once again, always remember, you are capable. And you can do it, guys. I really do believe in you. It's all a matter of the work that you put into it. The more work you put in, the better results you're gonna get. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one, and shoot well.